business you are doing. So that limit doesn't apply to you. You cannot tell an airline that they do money laundering, can you? Because they collect cash from people. And then they can also pay in any volume of money. You cannot tell a hotel man who has case of hotel and collect cash from people that he's doing money laundering in Nigeria. Because most of them are cash transactions. You cannot tell somebody who is doing a cash business.
Well, they have limits for, recently, the central bank recently introduced limits for individuals and companies. And I think the limit for companies is 3 million naira or so for cash. So you find a lot of companies telling you that is either you give us a check or you pay with your card.
No, with this, yes, but if you look at 3 million extended into 30 banks, it gives you a lot of money. You can do that, isn't it? 3 million. If you have an intention for anything you are doing. But what I'm trying to educate you on is this, is that card system we have, whereby a man now has 2 billion extended into different banks because they can pay in the money.
So does it mean that without the card system, one will not be able to move about 2 billion out of this country without?
No, it's very, very difficult because one, you have to bid. If you look at the wholesale Dutch market they are doing, it's for them to say this is the limit of what the central bank can approve for us to use to improve our economy by buying things in there. You see, you have all kinds of illegal dealings in Nigeria. One, capital flight, transcription of money, all kinds of things happening. During the Obasanjo era, let me give you a typical example. When the card system was not allowed, there's no Visa MasterCard that gives you the issue to move away. You don't see people buy private jet. You don't hear people going to Dubai to buy homes. But today you see private jets.
Can we say they're using the cards for all these purchases?
Yes, because one.
Because I really don't know which of the cards we're talking about now. Specifically speaking, I have a MasterCard. Okay.
MasterCard and Visa.
Now, I know that my provider, my bank, has a limit. So when I travel and I shop, it hits a limit. As small as a laptop, sometimes you buy a laptop and you decide to buy 1 or 2 other stuff. It tells you you've hit your daily limit. So I thought that that's a kind of check. So even though it's a debit card, that's a debit card, not even a credit card. So you still have a limit. So I don't understand.
No, you don't have a limit on a debit card because debit card, you see.
But I'm saying that I have a limit on my debit card.
No, maybe it's a prepaid card they give to you. There are different cards. A prepaid card given by the bank has a limit because they will set a limit for you to spend. Then the network provider knows that, if you hit that limit, because the system will tell you this is a limit. But on a debit card, your money is there. You, the card holder, can credit the bank. Say, my friend, I'm hitting my card and I'm not getting.
Okay, and that one is not prepaid.
It's not prepaid.
It's the money that you have.
The money that you have to spend it. So if they don't honor it, it means you can sue Visa and MasterCard.
Why? Because they are stopping you from taking
your money.
The prepaid card is your money too.
No, prepaid card, you loaded it. It's your money, but you loaded it. Do you understand me? You loaded it. It's not into the banking host system.
I'll need some clarification here on your write-up. You said today we're fighting Boko Haram,
yes,
kidnappers, corrupt politicians, money launderers, etc., through the media, physically and through different government organs. But on the other hand, promoting the existence of all these havoc organizations through our porous financial system.
Thank you.
Let's talk about that porosity.
You see, what is happening in the Americans are fighting for, because what is missing in Nigeria, CBN has no window to monitor what happens in our financial system today.
How do you mean?
Because they don't have a central switching system. Every operation of the e-technology today is done by each individual bank. Each individual bank.
Who are supposed to report to the CBN,
Who
right?
are reporting to the CBN, but you don't report to CBN on e-transaction. There must be, it's like America today in England, every dollar spent in America is known by Federal Reserve. Every pound spent in England is known by British people, but they're monitoring it. Now, every currency of the world, the CBN monitors it, what is happening, even in the cloud. They must know that this is our currency being used for this and this and that. Now, if I go to London with my card, I can pay for, as you said now, with a laptop. CBN does not have that monitoring window to know that Naira is being used to buy. It's not the exchange, exchanging it is the issue. It's that the Naira, which is under my control, is being used to buy that laptop. That's the difference. Now, let us go to the issue of Boko Haram and everything. You see, America is fighting Al-Qaeda, fighting everywhere because they are monitoring every transaction. They want to use that money to buy their dollar to buy, or the British pound. They all come together and say everything that we want to do, because we know the manufacturers of this arm are within us. Now, the people, Boko Haram is being funded through in India, not from our side. Not from our side. People within us are in here. They put big monies in different banks. Through this card system, they can go to any manufacturer of arms to say
through the card system.
Yeah, you can pay with it's a transaction. It's a legalized transaction.
The good thing about that is that eventually, assuming there is some investigation into that particular transaction, the money can always be traced, right?
Yeah, you can trace that money, but the issue is this: you're not stopping it, because if you look at what happened in Abuja, whereby they went into the Lebanese or those people in the shop and sell a lot of arms. How did they buy them? The kidnapper can be in London today. As you are paying that money into the into the account, it's using the card to buy anything in there, and then the money is moved.
Well, the kidnapper will tell you, oftentimes what you find is that the kidnapper prefers cash.
Now, if you give them cash, but the cash gets into the system.
The cash might be converted to dollars and get out one way or the other through the second tier of conversion.
If you buy dollar cash, it's difficult to pass through the airport. If they will start now looking at it as money laundering, because it's carrying cash. Money laundering is only because it deals with cash. But the kidnapper is in London. The main kingpin is in London or Germany or America. All you know that if this money enters, because I've told you from the beginning that our banks does not sell products. What they said is deposit. Bring deposit to us. Bring deposit to us. So if I'm a clever man, I say, okay, give you deposit. I'll give you 10 million today, tomorrow. It's daily issue. And I can put that money gradually or through a different stooges to pay the money in. And once the money is entering, somebody is using his card abroad to do transactions on it.
But some people will say also that, this is basically advantage and disadvantage. For those who do legal business and, who are earning their money the way they are supposed to earn it, will say that, this is business made easy. But for those people who are looking for fraudulent ways, it's like a window too has been opened for them as well. How would you suggest that, the central bank monitors or regulates this particular sphere? Because you're talking about e-transaction, and you're saying that banks are not mandated to report e-transactions to the CBN. How can they, monitor that particular area without stifling genuine businesses?
First of all, let us go to genuine businesses. Genuine businesses using the card has a limit. Because I cannot go to do my business. If I'm a businessman, CBN said I cannot take more than this amount of money outside Nigeria. But with the card, I'm taking more than what that CBN approved.
What about, because...
That's the first one. Let me finish with what you're saying.
Okay.
That's the first problem we have with that system we're talking about. I'm a true businessman. I go with my passport. CBN approves me that I can take this money based on the first tier exchange, this amount of money. Now, with my card, it's not a second tier exchange. The same CBN is telling me that they want to do cashless. Cashless means through different payments of e-transaction or anything, you can move your money. But the main common one is that card. That card. Because of the absence of the national card we are using, I'm going to hit to say, sell me this cup. I pay with that card. You selling that cup to me, that's a charge because you increase the price of that card to pay for the merchant fee. That's what's called a merchant fee. Which you said, okay, because I'm going to pay that card network, maybe 1.8% or 2%. I will increase the price of that cup by 2%, so that even though that I sell this card to this man, I will still pay the network provider that 2%.
You know, some Nigerians watching will be thinking that it's almost like business. You're trying to draw business for Nigerians who are into card business, because for some, they say the MasterCard Visa card has been some form of, has some watertight security features to the extent that it hasn't been faltered. It does not fall within your analysis or your argument of of security issues.
No, security issue is not what we are here for. One is that we have an exchange rate regulation. Nigeria does not have its own card scheme system now anymore. We are now doing cashless economy. Cashless economy means that I'm going to use my card to buy goods. I'm going to move money from one end to the other. Now, if I'm buying that good, I'm inflating the economy. That's one. Because what? The man I'm going to sell that good for me to pay by card will put his markup because there's merchant fee. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now, this merchant fee is settled in hard currency to the Visa MasterCard network. They have to pay them. It's not in Naira. But if we have our Naira network, and doing the cashless system, every transaction, even though you increase the price, it will be settled on the same Naira.
You know, but there's a comment coming through from Tola who says, CBN has a central switch known as the NCS, which is Nigeria Interbank Settlement System.
That's NIPS. No, not NIPS. It's not central switching system. No, that is not. That is NIPS. NIPS is whereby the transaction, if you have a central switch, if you hit your MasterCard in the outside, it will go through the Visa net first, then hit the third-party processor next, then go into the bank. But if you have a central switching system, you will hit the MasterCard net straight into the central switching system, then before it gets to the party processor to send to the bank.
So if that were to be the case, then that would be a solution to prevent what you say is a worry for Nigeria.
It should be a solution to know that for the solution to Nigeria is that CBN on their Vision 2020 statement need to say we have to provide a central switch and also regulate our currency as per the exchange rate policies. They said I cannot take more than 10,000 a week in transfer 10,000. The purpose of creating domiciliary account is that this Visa MasterCard should be tied to that account alone, not to the Naira account. Do you understand me? If you're issuing a Visa MasterCard by the bank, the purpose of creating them is that I want to be issued with a Visa card or Naira or MasterCard on the currency of opening my distance. If you go to India, Indians will not issue you Visa and MasterCard on rupee deposits. They will tell you if you want a Visa or MasterCard, you open a domiciliary account. So anything you are spending from that place will hit to that account. But that's the purpose of domiciliary account.
All right.
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Okay.
So this is where the problem lies. You don't create a domiciliary account and then issue me a Visa and MasterCard on Naira. That is, you're creating a gateway for me to spend that money outside the shores of Nigeria.
All right. Robert Okonya is a payment system solution provider. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you so much.
We'll return after this break. Join us again.